Gilbert S with the Unnamed Game Co.
This is Jordan T with ZoneFighter Games.
And this is Doug W, just for the heck of it.
Well, we're back.
We are back with Troika AP, the 13th floors.
Yep.
We are back, and we have left off in the 5th floor, which was a cafeteria, which attracted our players and got them real excited about food stuff.
Yep. I'm excited about food stuff.
Yep, hold on a sec.
Oh, we lost the GM.
Oh, still here.
No,
Sorry, had to get...
We found the GM.
I had to get something. Alrighty, and as our illustrious party had wandered into the desert to climb this weird tower that had shown up overnight in an effort to make a lot of cash and get a cool thing from the Sultan.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
They had accepted this job from the dubious Mr. Liason, who may or may not be on the up and up. But everything seems pretty okay.
Is anything ever on the up and up in Troika?
It's never. Never on the up and up. But we now resume to the game in progress.
In the last episode, I was trying to shoot the ceiling.
You were, and it was doing nothing.
Yep, did absolutely nothing except, get me closer to, death.
And I was trying to get you to not shoot the ceiling, and instead let us cook.
Okay.
It was also not doing anything because you kept shooting the ceiling.
I was hoping I could just drill a hole through the ceiling right into the next floor. It did not work.
Much like most of the floors that you've all seen so far, there are still two entrances and exits on the far sides. In fact, actually, the side you came up on, you can almost see right across, is an elevator. You may be able to wander up the stairs, but you would need to double check because I don't remember if I talked about it last game.
No, I was busy shooting the ceiling. And there was cooking equipment the last time we checked.
Yep. There's a lot of sealed and canned food on the walls. It seems to have a nice stainless steel kitchen area. A lot of crumbled or broken kind of cheap metal lunch tables and plastic metal chairs. You know the kind. Just they're ugly, terrible, uncomfortable things. Seem to be kind of spotted around the lunchroom with this ugly linoleum floor, and again, there's that big crack going through the ceiling, and the lights just kind of seem to be hanging, and there's that nice little burnt spot from Tip.
You're welcome. Now, is there doors that branch off, in the hotel room, on the second floor, or is it?
This seems to be a pretty wide open area. There do seem to be a few pillars kind of holding up the ceiling as they bear weight, but everything here is a little cracked. What with the fact of the matter is that this tower was kind of gestalted real quick by gravity and transmissions through the multiverse and being slapped into this world by some kind of strange force that is the universe. But it seems to be still sturdy.
Well, if we have nothing going on, I'm just going to grab one of the cans and try to open it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me. Let's see, your college friends. Yeah, roll me sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand, got it. And we have to roll over or under?
You would want to roll under. So for you, you'd want to roll under 7.
Nope.
Nope. You go to open it, and you kind of slice into your finger a little bit. Go ahead and lose 1 stamina.
I yelp and start crying.
Tip, what happened?
I hurt my finger.
To make matters worse, your hand now smells like canned peaches.
I was hungry.
Chad will start fixing an actual meal that isn't a can of canned peaches.
All right. Go ahead and roll me. Now, are you just going to cook in general, or are you going to grill?
I'm grilling because I have corned beef,
Ooh,
not to be confused with corned beef.
go ahead. Go ahead and roll under 7.
I got a 6.
Excellent. It's pretty good. It's pretty serviceable. Mr. Liaison seems fairly excited about the way this smells.
So I put the ears of corned beef into a nice nice foil packaging and grill them up.
Hey Jordan, just as a reminder for the folks at home who might skip the first episode, what is this? What are the rules for rolls here on the Troika podcast?
So in the Troika system, you must roll low in order to get your required result of what you want. Unless you're in combat, in which you must roll the high number. You must roll the high number in combat, which, depending on the actions of our 2 wonderful players here, we may find out at some point today.
And we're rolling 2d6, right, Jordan?
2d6.
And and then we add the skill number to that. Am I right?
That is correct. When in combat, you roll 2d6, add your skill and your ranks in your skills on your sheet to go up. Other than that, you must roll your rank and your skill together, and then you roll under that for normal stuff. Any non-combat roll is low.
Gotcha. Now that is for all the people at home who just decided to listen to the second episode.
Which may happen because YouTube is weird like that, and we'll give you the second episode before the first one.
Tips tip, if you will.
Tips tip.
Ooh,
Tips corner.
Ooh, tips tip corner. Ooh, that's a harsh one to get out of the mouth.
That's what she said.
So you now have all.
Wait, is that what she said?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
I'm Ace, I don't know.
Tip, go ahead and regain that 1 lost stamina based on this wonderful, delicious meal.
This was delicious, Chad. You is the greatest.
Now, Chad, you called it specifically corned beef instead of corned beef.
Yes.
Would you like to describe exactly what that means?
Yeah, so it's on the outside it looks like a normal ear of corn with the husk and everything else about it. But when you husk it, there's little pearls of meat growing where the corn kernels normally would be. But it grills very nicely, and then you roll it in butter as you would a normal piece of corn. But then you throw it back in and fry it up to brown those little marbles of beef growing on that cob.
I feel I recovered 2 off of that. That doesn't seem like a 1 stamina meal. That seems like a 2 stamina meal. That seems like corn-fed Nebraska stamina retaining meal.
That I would agree with you, but you only lost the 1 HP, so I'm afraid it's gonna have to be just the 1 for right now.
No overheals in Troika.
No overheals in Troika.
Wait, no, I still have damage from the last game. We never took a rest.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You're correct. You are correct.
I went pew pew at the wall constantly.
This is actually going to function as a ration then. So what I want you all to do, if I'm remembering it right, which I bet I'm not, is I want you to go ahead and we're going to use the ration rules. So let me go ahead and pull those up real quick because I'm a buffoon and didn't think about this. You will be, wow, what a, Control F is not your friend, kids.
Meanwhile, while Jordan looks that up, I will entertain the audience. Da 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 da. Oh wait, I don't know if that is that a.
I believe the rules are quite literally just roll a d6 and recover that amount.
Sweet, I just recovered 3.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
on the character sheet I have, it says eat a provision to recover 1d6 stamina. You can do this 3 times per day.
Perfect. Excellent.
Pow.
That is actually one of the wonderful things about Troika is it's very straightforward. So when in doubt, you can probably just guess, and you will be like 90% correct.
Great. I now can shoot at the ceiling more.
As you continue to shoot at the ceiling and enjoy this nice quiet meal,
I'm not really shooting at the ceiling, geez.
Are you looking around for anything else important or wonderful that might be helpful, or you feel might be helpful?
I will look around for cooking ingredients.
Cooking ingredients.
Specifically, things that can be grilled.
You find 5 pre-packed things of hamburger meat. The downside is that 2 of them do say meat in quotations.
I'll pack those separately.
Perfect. But for tracking, you can go ahead and just leave that all as like one whole thing, just so it's not, taking up unnecessary space in your bag. Because Troika has limited inventory space, and it is a thing that comes up if it must. As you rummage through this cafeteria, you hear strong wing beats from above you. And the tower shifts slightly and rumbles as if something has landed and is moving around. And through the crack in the ceiling, you do see it. What was very clearly daylight coming through the crack is now just a heavy shadow, and something is clearly moving above you. And Mr. Liason remarks that this is a good sign that what we're after may in fact be here already.
Yeah. I think it's a good sign. I wonder if I could zap that thing through the crack.
Tip.
Yeah.
Stop trying to bring the ceiling down on us.
It's only 1 floor.
It's an entire ceiling of the floor.
Yeah, but it's 1 floor coming down on us. It's not like we're on the first floor and then 6 ceilings come down on top of us. Just 1.
Have you ever dropped a flat iron on your foot?
No.
It's not an entire ceiling, but it hurts like heck.
I mean, yeah, but look, there's a crack right there, and shadow has covered the crack, which means my jolt could go through the crack and hit the thing above it.
Maybe we should use the stairs, Tip.
Yeah, but then we lose the thing of surprise.
Well, not if... Yes, if we burst through the door at the top of the stairs, we still surprise it.
Got an idea. You lift me up, and I put my finger right into the crack, so that there's no way I can miss.
Is this your drill that will pierce the heavens?
Yeah, I'm gonna go like this, and go pew right through the crack. There's no way it would go right through it and into whatever's blocking the crack. Tell me that's not an idea.
Tip, I will give you the benefit of the doubt here, but I think we should use the stairs.
Just let me try to blast once, and then if it doesn't work, then we'll go take the stairs.
Mr. Liaison's not quite sure what to think of this plan.
I mean, Chad Arnoldson, strongman, will lift Tip to let him attempt to shoot
am I
lightning
able
bolt
to
through the
reach
crack.
the ceiling if I'm on his shoulders?
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
Am I
mostly
able to stick my
because
fingers
the section,
into
because
the
it's
little
like
crack?
bowed where you're at.
Am I able to stick my fingers into the crack? Like a Japanese anime thing?
Yes.
Okay, I stick my fingers into the crack as far as it can go. And I go...
Like, it's all the way because it's pretty wide.
And I go, pew! Jolt
Alright.
it.
Roll under with Jolt. Because it's technically not a combat roll.
And I don't add anything to this roll, right?
Nope, you're just rolling, if I'm reading this right.
Under rank plus skill.
Okay.
Yeah, rank.
My rank is 6 plus skill, which is 2, so that's 8. I rolled a 6. I got it.
All right. Go ahead and roll me damage.
Seven points of damage. Ignoring armor.
Ignoring armor.
All that armor that the ceiling is wearing.
Yep, ignores all the ceiling armor.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and
ponder this scenario.
Yeah, this is a weird scenario. All right. Okay. As you do this, you hear a awful screech noise. And the entire room shakes momentarily as the sound of terribly massive wings beat. And you hear something take off, and you hear it through the window and see it. This massive bird begins circling the entire building.
I think I hit it.
It would appear so.
And almost as if on cue, as soon as you say, it would appear so, what you think is, oh wow, it's pretty fast. No, that's just a second one has appeared. Mr. Liason remarks, this may be its mate.
That would explain where the eggs are coming from.
And as you stare and watch them, you watch both birds kind of fly off at a distance, turn around, and then kind of start heading back towards the building. In a kind of aggressive posturing.
So now what do we do?
You're the one with the education tip. I thought you had a plan.
I didn't. I thought by blasting through the crack, it would just die.
Oh.
Like, shocking death. Like, oh no, I was shot in the butt. Die.
Does that usually kill people? Always.
I don't know. I've not really killed anybody by shooting them in the butt, but I assumed it would go internal and go kaboom inside of their bodies.
Mr. Liaison remarks about how it's an awful lot of floor for that lightning to get through. But we should also not sure what we should do, but maybe standing still is probably not the best idea when fighting large birds of prey.
Yeah, let's go upstairs.
I mean, staying indoors is generally a good idea when fighting large birds of prey, which we are doing.
This is also true. He remarks on that. He's not sure how stable the building is, though. And maybe standing inside while this whole thing kind of goes down. But these things are now made aware of your presence, and probably getting out without doing something about them probably won't get far.
I run towards the elevator.
All right. Do you hit the button?
Yep.
As you hit the button, it dings and the door opens, and you see the elevator car has been sheared completely in half, as if the elevator was in motion or between floors when the whole building shifted. So it's just kind of half the upper half just kind of hanging there, kind of like teetering against it.
I think we're taking the stairs, Tip.
I jump and grab onto the thing, the little, like, I reach out for the little cord that's probably hanging down, and I start to climb my way up.
There is nothing hanging out. It is the completely sealed elevator car. There is a door in the roof, but it's completely right in the middle, of the car, and there's nothing to stand on right there.
Okay, I tried to climb the shaft.
Okay.
Like, put my arms and climb and shimmy my way up. I'm just gonna test Jordan's resolve in this game.
Now, here's the obnoxious part. You do have a climb skill.
I do. That's the reason I'm doing this.
Well, no one ever said Troika characters were supposed to live long. Go ahead and roll under climb.
Barely made it. Barely made it.
You struggle to get your way up, but you managed to do it. Mr. Knight is not. Sorry, Mr. Liason. It's a different NPC for a different Troika game I'm running. May or may not be using similar backgrounds. Mr. Liason looks at you, Chad, and goes, "I'm not sure if climbing up there is the safest way."
Oh, it's not.
Stairs?
Stairs.
Stairs. So you two both turn and move back towards the stairs. It actually looks like it goes up pretty good. There seems to be a good 4-foot gap between one set of stairs and the other set of stairs. It's easy enough. You kind of make the jump real quick. Meanwhile, Tip, you climb and you struggle and you go up the rope with gym teachers of past screaming in your ears as you get all the way up, and the door is a good 1.5 foot away from you, so you kind of have to swing over.
It's a good thing you did that phys ed elective for your College of Friends.
I did. It was important. Actually, I didn't want to do it, but I couldn't take ribbon dancing.
It is to say for the folks at home, Tip does in fact have a run skill, a climb skill, and a swim skill. So there is a weird amount of physicality to a wizard character, which I find very funny.
I swing over and I start to sneak.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me sneak.
Yeah, I made it. That was a lot better than the last one. Barely made it.
Because those doors are a little kind of crumpled and kind of easy to open as they've been messed. They look like they've been kind of smashed a little bit. So it looks like they're whatever kind of holds them in place for safety has not engaged anymore. So they just kind of. So you sneak into the room, and at the same time, Chad and Mr. Liason both come up the stairs, and you can kind of get a good beat on each other as you've been noticing throughout the whole building, right where the other door is. There's a kind of giant nest situated on one of the far sides, almost as if the building is still quite slanted, and the higher it up, the more the slant is apparent. It's right up against the window, and there's you can kind of see them. There's 2 eggs kind of nestled in this big mass of debris and plant matter that you're not sure where it came from, it being a desert. But it does seem to be a lot of dried twigs and some office furniture that looks like it's been punched and ground up by large talons. But otherwise, anything that was here looks like it's been pretty torn up, as there was a giant gash in the building that seems to allow the rocks to pass in and out. And as you both make eye contact and clock each other from across the room, that shadow blocks out the sun through the gash for just a moment, and you hear wind rustled feathers go.
I'm trying to be sneaky.
I'm just gonna run for the nest to try and get an egg.
Okay. You make the run. Go ahead and roll me skill. This is for you moving between the flybys.
Got it. I have no stealth, so it's just straight skill, right?
Yeah. But you do have run, so we'll add run.
Okay, so I got a 3.
As you start running, maybe your foot just got a bad grip or something.
I mean,
but,
under is good.
Right. You're under.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong. I'm thinking of a different game. My apologies. Just flies by in the dark, and you take that as a starting gun, and you're just boom into the light. As you run up to the egg, you kind of position yourself just out of sight as the shadow passes by again. And you're situated right up to the egg. It's about half your height, which as a full adult humanoid is still pretty big. But it seems to be just kind of hanging out. Tip, do you have any plans to help out in this situation? Any approaches you want to try?
I continue to hide and wait in case I am needed.
All right. Mr. Liason, from a distance, you see him kind of like from the bottom up, just kind of disappear. And you hear the sound of footsteps. And as he gets closer, you kind of make out this sort of stacked shimmer. And you notice him suddenly, again, appear out of nowhere on the other side of the other egg. That took him, I believe, 1. Took him about 1. And now everyone seems to be in position. Do you have a further plan? Because now you've got the eggs, at least in hand. Now you've got to get them down 6 floors.
I mean, I will just lift it and wrestle it down the stairs.
It is technically grappling an egg. I'm gonna let that happen.
Okay.
I'm gonna let that happen. Roll wrestle to grapple and lift with the legs.
No. I got a 10, and my wrestle is currently 9.
Ugh.
I think I can spend luck.
You
right?
can. You can spend luck. If you make your luck, this is actually a super important feature of Troika. If you fail any roll at all, be it your roll or someone else's roll against you, to kind of avoid bad things happening, you can try to roll under your luck skill, which is something that you rolled during character creation. So for our friend Chad, oh, you lucked out on this. Wow. Wow. You have to roll under 12.
Yeah, I ended up with 12 luck, so I'm in pretty good shape to do this.
Wow.
I got a 10 again, but it is below luck.
Cool. So it feels like it's starting to move a little, or you have a bad grip, and you quick reassess your grip and you manage to grab it. So you're doing good. Go ahead and lower your luck by 1 to 11.
Yep.
So upon a rest and between sessions, your luck will go back up to maximum. But for now, and the plan, as Mr. Liason kind of reminds you with some quiet chatter, reminds you that we only need the 1. So as long as we can get this one down, we're gonna be A-okay.
I will grunt over my shoulder. Excellent.
Okay. What is the so now that we have it in hand, what is the plan to get it down? Are you going to take the stairs or the elevator?
I don't think we can get this down the elevator, so I'm going to try to do the stairs.
Okay.
I cast Mirror Selves, pop out of my hiding, and I'm now distracting as much as I can the three of me. I will roll for this.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. I'm gonna try to roll for luck now.
Go ahead. Which you have 7 luck.
7 luck. That sucks. Is that really what it was?
You have the math is on your side for this.
5.
Hey, so
My luck drops down to 6.
yep, it luck's down to 6. So you go to cast the spell, and you kind of like stop for a second, forgetting one of the hand signs and the arcane words. But you quickly remember, because you can kind of improvise, because one of your teachers in the back of your head just like, look, it's all like 90% going through the motions. If you wiggle your fingers fast enough, the magic's not going to notice. So now you have these 3 versions of yourself kind of all moving in unison and doing all kinds of weird things and dancing around as you attempt to make a distraction. Now, did you ever roll what your random spell would be? Because I'm curious, because it might come in
It's
handy
ward.
at the moment.
I did.
Ward.
Yeah, we rolled
Lord,
it. You
good
rolled
spell,
it for
good.
me before we started last game.
Correct. We did. I forgot because my notes are not in front of me. So. Ooh, that's a good one. So as you begin to kind of inch the egg, and I say inch when really you're kind of like taking good strong strides of getting this thing out there. And Mr. Liason is actively helping you, Chad, as he's like, a little more, a little more, a little more. He's watching out, helping out.
Watch the step.
Yeah, watch the step right there. That sort of thing. As he's helping out, the shadow comes by. And it sees some of the dancing capering of tips, illusions, which is immediately followed by shadow, daylight, loud cry in the air. Actually, as this goes on, you hear the faint sound of glass shattering and gunfire in the air, and you can hear this coming from a few floors down. Whoever else is inside this building seems to not be too happy there's a giant animal floating about outside.
I mean, we're not either, so...
Yeah. As much as I wanted to treat this like a dungeon, it's still just a big skyscraper with open windows. Like, everything in here knows what's going on outside of it. So we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of challenges here to kind of get it down the stairs. We're gonna go 1 floor at a time, and then I'm gonna ask you guys if you want to keep using the stairs. So
before we do that, let's take a small little break here.
Oh, yes.
Time to take a break, and before we go into these challenges that Jordan is wanting us to do, as my 3 wizards dance around during this move. All right. We will see you all after the break. And we're back.
We're back.
Hi, back.
We're back. We've done what we needed to do. Got the water. We've done the thing and turned the wheel and such.
And so my character is currently grooving and moving on top of the roof.
Yes.
Doug and Mr. Liason are now crab walking down the stairs.
Yes, they're at the stairwell with the first big gap. So what we're gonna do, to kind of make this a little goofy and a little weird. The first one, we're just gonna do it pretty straightforward. Go ahead and give me another wrestle check, Chad.
Double one.
Ooh, you don't even think about it. You're just like, oh, just done. Oof. Mwah. In my home game, this would that would have been a beautiful moment. I would give you a chip, and that chip would be redeemable for whichever background you wanted in the event of your death.
Nice.
Which is a fun side mechanic I built, and I advise you to do that at home, folks. Is to allow your players to pick a background if they do real cool in this life. So, with that, you have now started edging down into the 5th floor. There is a little bit of a weird switchback, if you remember.
Yes.
And I believe the helping hands would have gone away at this point. I believe they would. Let me check the spell listing. Helping hands. Yep. I'm gonna say because you've moved floors, they have gone away. Because the hands do last until you leave the location. So you can either concoct some sort of strange idea to kind of get around the switchback, or you could see if the elevator on this floor works.
So I will go check on the elevator.
Okay.
And I think the floor with the switchback was also the cooking room, right?
That is true. So you're on the you're in the cafeteria. So you dash across, and you hit the button, and now that I'm just remembering it, and I described it very vividly, the elevator is still hanging there.
Still just half the elevator. Cool.
Yes. Mr. Liason has a crazy idea that he wants to try. To see if he can kind of open the switchback and get us through. But we better be certain that we don't need anything above us.
Well, we need Tip, and he's still up there.
You better think of a way to get him down here. Because otherwise, he's just going to have to...
down the elevator shaft and see what's going on below.
You look down, and you do see another elevator car that still somehow seems to be kind of suspended in there. You're not quite sure
how far down. Like, is it just like directly below, like a short hop, or
it's like a whole floor? If you hop down, you can kind of make a guess as a chef that the egg might not make it, or it might. But that's really a risk that's up to you.
Okay, so as a grilling man, I'm relatively sure there's got to be some sort of like wrapping twine in this kitchen that you would use to tie up roasts and stuff.
Ooh. Okay. Go ahead and Go ahead and roll me grilling, and then hold on to that number.
Okay.
While we go check in on Tip. Tip, the rocks are becoming a little miffed at this capering in their nest, and one of them looks like it has broken off and is now coming around. Do you kind of maintain the silly dance a little bit?
No, I kind of stop. I look over the edge, and I start summoning mage hands down the walls, and what I'm planning to do is have the mage hands just throw the random wizard versions of myself to different hands.
You're juggling yourself?
It'll look like I'm juggling myself, so they can't really tell which one's what. But I'm going to use, like, I don't know, 7 mage hands, which is going to put me at, like, stamina 3.
Okay. I mean, they are...
It's a very worthwhile distraction.
It is a worthwhile distraction, and because these are just giant birds, they fall for it pretty quick. I mean, they have evolved massive eyes for predatory attacks, but as they start kind of seeing, like, the hands are real, which I think partially sells it. But as the bird comes swooping into the side of the building, readies its talons to kind of do a strike. As you're looking down, you actually see gunfire come out from several floors down as it's like the sounds of rifles crack out against the silent desert day as it collides into the creature, and then it just hits the side and kind of rakes its talons against the illusion as it breaks off and kind of attempts to maintain flight as it kind of glides down to the ground and sort of stumbles for a moment and then tries to pick up its pace as it flies back up, as it seems to be quite injured. Give me just a moment while I do that. And then as we jump back to our beautiful boy, Chad.
Just, I did roll the mage hands just to make sure I did them successfully. So
Absolutely.
if you want to do multiple rolls for each mage hand, we can do that, but that's up to you.
No, because I feel like that would just bog us down with unnecessary math.
Gotcha. So now I'm being juggled around the side of the building.
Yes.
For 12 minutes. A good 11 minutes of this, just in case.
Yeah, and I did roll, because it is supposedly a 1 in 3 chance of them guessing at which one you were. They guessed for the lower ones because it was just easier, and that's how birds attack things. They swoop. All right, and what did we roll, Chad?
So Chad got a 7 out of 8 on grilling.
All right, you find enough materials, actually, even some old potato bags that you can kind of like.
Cool. I'm gonna tie up like a macrame net situation to lower the egg down between the potato sacks and various other things.
Okay. So it's like a whole like suspension that you just like slowly...
Yeah, that I can just slowly.
All right.
Do that, and then I'll climb down as well.
All right. Go ahead and give me a Yeah, go ahead and give me a climb.
6 out of 8.
6 out of 8. Bingo. All right. So you not only do you manage to let it down nice and slow, you handily just kind of Mr. Liason kind of looks around and makes sure the rope is tied off real good, and kind of cuts it a little bit before he comes down, so that on the way up he can just kind of yank it and you hear it snap as it just comes right down, and he kind of tosses the rope into the rest of this little basket that you have. He's like, this is good for later. This is perfect. So you two are now back down to...
So now we're on top of the elevator carriage at the lower level?
Yes, which I believe this is the 4th floor you've been brought yourselves down to. So as you pop open the elevator and begin the secondary of lowering it down, we're going to head back up to Tip, who is now still moving yourself down from hand to hand.
Yes.
All right, and you said you're going to kind of jump down there, and you made that many. Are you looking to get down to the 5th floor, or are you looking to get down to the 4th floor? Because I'm willing to work with you on both.
My plan was to actually use mage hands to go progressively down, like a staircase.
Okay.
Floor by floor.
Floor by floor. That's going to take a lot of mage hands. I don't know if you have anything left.
I was planning to use 7 mage hands to do this whole thing.
Oh, so you just kind of like hand, grab, let yourself go and slide down.
Yeah, which is looking like it's juggling a different wizard to a different place. So it looks it's not only like they're trying to... So the wizards look like they're jumping from different places, even though they're not actually grabbing anything, but the mage hands are just sort of doing a juggling act on the side of the building, going all the way down to like the 2nd or 3rd floor.
Okay. Just to kind of keep this nonsense going, I need you to roll me...
My goal is to try to kind of break your brain a little bit, so this is enjoyable the more you think. Mwahahaha.
we're gonna see if we're gonna have you roll another check for helping hands just to see if you're maintaining this properly. And be sure to be marking your successful attempts on your skills.
I failed this one. I will roll luck one more time.
Okay.
Yes, I met it. 6.
Okay, cool. Which is good because you as you go to do another jump to another helping hand, you miss entirely, and things start looking real grim for you real quick as that pit in your stomach falls as you're like, oh, I'm just sliding down the side of a building here. As you manage to quick conjure up another helping hand and it stops you, which this is a fail forward moment. So you are now down to floor 4 from the outside, which luckily has some openings in it, as unfortunately you see a lot of glass that was left remaining has been knocked in and up into some poor bird-like fellows that had some guns. If you want, you can jump in here or keep going down on the outside.
I will pull out a provision.
And eat it?
And eat a provision.
All right. That is, I believe, because we're cutting it to each session just for sanity, that is your second?
Yep.
That is your second attempt at eating a provision. Go ahead and roll a d6 to get that back.
4 back.
All right. We'll cut back to our wonderful inside boys, as Shad and Mr. Liason are now moving through what appears to be the executive offices of some kind of bank. This is the floor you skipped. It looked like it was raided. There seems to be a lot of gunfire into cubicle walls and damaged equipment. There's a big logo, kind of metallic, like it's a big metallic logo attached, just says BSL, Boggart Savings and Loan. It looks like it was some sort of goblin bank. There is the unfortunate, a few goblins are lying on the floor in their workwear, their nice tight white shirts and ties, and a few, they look to be some sort of bird-like raiders. A few knives, a rifle here or there, but some of them seem to be kind of on the way out as they've been shredded by glass, which is very terrible. But it looks like there are some cut ropes. They may have had hostages, but this is all a very quick thing that is occurring fast as you see the bird begin to come back for a second approach.
So I will just go for the door with the stairs because they're in the same spot, right?
Correct. Yeah, the floors have like tried to line themselves up as best they could so that the stairs and the elevators are all consistent with each other. But as you've noticed, they...
Or well, before I get out, I'll see if I can hit the next floor down on the elevator I'm in.
You hit the switch. It rings, and it comes up. It's a little jauntily as you manage to work your way into it. It still works, but it seems stable enough.
I'll see if like I can hit the next floor down and see if it'll go down.
So you're currently on 4th floor. You hit floor 3, and it starts to move. There's a kind of horrible grinding noise, and a bit of a jitter. You kind of hold your breath for a second. The egg is fine, but it feels like you kind of, when you run up on a curb in a car, like everything just kind of goes, and you're like, ah. But it seems to go down, and the doors kind of open up, and again, the elevator seems to have not quite matched the opening just right, so there's a bit of a lip, but it seems to have made it down just fine. On the 3rd floor, you see several panes of frosted glass as they sort of kind of intersect in strange and odd ways, almost like a mirror maze as they kind of go out. You definitely see like shadows of people running about in the distance, and kind of in between, you almost hear one of them come awfully close as they're running around, trying desperately to see what they can do to get out of here before the bird kind of rumbles into their floor.
Does it look like you can just ride the elevator some more?
You can press the button and try.
I will press floor. This is 2 now, right? Yeah. 2. I will press 2 and, well, actually, I'm going to wait here for a second. I'm going to stuff that bag, sack, net thing that the egg is in with my, quote, meat as a cushion in case we fall.
Okay. So you have, ooh, this is a fun one. Did you guys in high school ever have to do an egg drop?
No.
This was
yeah, no, I didn't.
That it was like a weird science project. They're like, you're gonna drop an egg off of like 2 stories and you're gonna build some sort of nonsense to make sure it survives the drop. So I'm assuming this is something that you're trying to create in this instance, some kind of apparatus to keep the egg from surviving short drops.
It's probably closer to a Scotch egg.
Ooh, okay.
But yes, the idea is some cushioning.
The principle is the same. The principle would be the same. A lot of cushioning around an egg to keep it safe. I agree with you. Okay. While you're doing that, go ahead and roll. We'll count this as grilling again because this is still cooking knowledge, and then you're gonna hold on to that number for me as we check back with Tip.
I look into the 4th floor and I see if there's anybody there.
The 4th floor, there is a handful of kind of dead bird people, a lot of gunfire, bits of broken glass. You did watch your boy run through on the elevator and Mr. Liason in tow and managed to take it down.
I'm like, anybody alive in there?
You hear pained groans followed by some gurgling that you're not too sure is healthy.
I mage hand down to the 2nd floor.
All right, go ahead and roll me 2 attempts.
Success.
Okay.
Failure.
Oh no! Did you want to use luck?
I'm only at 5 luck now.
Luck is luck.
Nope, did not make it.
As you start sliding down, you start feeling your butt kind of pick up some heat. As the bird begins to kind of come at you as it sees something moving, as the images are they still up top or are they coming down with you as they juggle down as well?
They were supposed to be coming down with me, but if it's been more than 12 minutes, then it's not likely.
I don't think it's been more than 12 minutes. This is a very fast-paced thing that's been happening here. We'll say it's been about 6.
What happens if you fail your luck? Do you go up in luck?
No, you just you don't make the roll.
Gotcha.
But I'm trying to ponder a way of like, do I just kill you right now because you're down the side of a building?
Up to you.
I'm gonna give you one more chance after we cut back to our boy here, and to see if you can save yourself one more time. Chad, what are you and Mr. Liason up to at this point?
I got a 7 out of 8 on securing the egg before we try to hit the next button down to go to floor 2.
Perfect. Mr. Liason and Chad are hanging tight, and you guys look pretty good to go. And you go to hit the switch. And I want you to roll me. This is gonna be just straight luck. You won't lose if you fail. It's just to see if
just test luck.
Just test luck. You don't lose anything if you fail.
Got a 7 out of 11.
I forgot it was that high.
Chad is one lucky boy.
Chad is a lucky boy. It screeches and makes this terrible noise as it moves forward, and you feel it kind of bump into something, and it immediately is followed by a loud noise and a crash as you guys slide into place, and you manage to make it to the 2nd floor as it opens up. But there's a huge difference between flooring, so you're gonna have to kind of climb your way out of this. Mr. Liason mentions that it might not be a good idea to use this anymore based on that last sound.
Well, we had trouble getting the elevator on the first floor to work. So
Yeah. All right. So while you and Mr. Liaison attempt to climb out, Tip,
Yes.
you're falling down the side of this building.
Yes.
Top speed.
Yes.
You're 3 floors up and falling fast.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what you're gonna do?
I'm gonna use a mage hand to catch me.
Okay. Go ahead. Give me a roll.
Oh, thank God. Barely. I rolled a 7.
You rolled a 7. Perfect. Perfect. You managed to stop yourself. Let's see. You were at the 4th floor, missed, fell. I'm gonna go ahead and say you passed by the 3rd floor entirely because of your miss, and you're now on the 2nd floor. Do you wanna keep going, or do you want to kind of work your way inside?
I tried to open the glass.
Okay. It's actually quite easy. Normally, on a building this tall, having come from the city of Troika, normally buildings this high up have safety glass. This stuff shatters. This stuff shatters like you don't even look like you're looking at it weird. And now you're inside, and it's another nice apartment. Living room, bedroom, bathroom, small kitchen, and the door is right across from you.
I look down at the bottom to see if it's one of those sealed doors.
It's not.
I open the door.
You open the door and you're in the hallway with the awful buzzing fluorescent lights. And as you exit, you hear the sound of familiar grunting.
I slide down and I sit there and I start to sob. I'm like, I almost die.
100%. Yeah, that would be my reaction too, as you almost fucking died.
I'm just sitting in the hallway, like rocking back and forth, crying.
It tastes like PTSD. All right, we now cut back to Chad and Mr. Liaison as you now hear the sound of deep, familiar sobbing.
Chad, is that you? I mean, Tip, is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Thought that sounded familiar. Was it a bad interview?
No, it was worse. It's almost as worse. I almost fell out the side of the building.
This is why we take the stairs, Tip.
Oh,
Or the elevator. Not the side of the building.
Chad, if anything ever happened to me, I'd like you to tell my folks I had a job and I died because of the job.
I will tell them you died in a horrible barbecue accident.
No. You have to tell them that I died working.
Yes, you can be my chef de cuisine.
No. I had a
That is a job.
Job in an office and
Office cafeteria?
a freak accident thing. Just tell my folks that, okay?
A paper cut. A deadly paper cut.
Yes, the deadliest paper cut ever.
A ream of paper took your head off.
Yes, that's what I want you to tell. I don't want you to tell them that I was unemployed and that you were feeding me.
The demonic printer.
Yes. Thank you, Chad. You're a true friend.
Where do you folks live?
Demonic
I never met them.
Printer.
On the...
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's a background waiting to happen, isn't it?
Well, let's get out of here with the egg.
I think the background is like a background that specializes in removing demons from IT equipment.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It like just it's sprang fully formed into my brain.
Yeah.
Copy exorcist.
I was gonna say IT exorcist, but you're not wrong.
Copy your exorcist. Copy
No, it's just
your exorcist.
Yeah, just be IT exorcist. You show up and you just scream holy water at things.
That sounds great. Anyways,
Banish squad.
Anyway,
I don't want to go out the side of the building anymore, so let's just take the stairs.
Good call, Tip.
so as you manage to work your way back through the horrible hallways of this ugly green apartment building that once was, with this ugly, awful buzzing noise and the fluorescent lights passing by each room, 1302, 1301, 1317, yada yada. As you work your way into the stairs and you knock the door open, and it looks like it's a nice clean shot all the way down.
I climb the stairs down while still crying.
The only real problem is that one of the stair steps is weirdly short, and some of the other ones are weirdly long. But it takes a weird minute to get the kind of this obnoxious pattern of the stairs as you knock your way down, and you end up on the bottom floor as you end up back in this kind of weird room full of cubicles that have forced themselves into the shape of a lobby, and the front entrance that you were of these nice plate glass windows that has been peeled back, and you have a nice opening outside. Your animals seem to have worked themselves inside to escape these giant creatures.
I jump on the horse.
Tip. What? Wait. We should just wait for the birds to go to sleep and then leave.
Is that... Yeah, this is Mr. Liaison talking. Is this the plan? Kind of wait for night to come?
Well, would you like to go out there when there are two large predatory birds looking for us?
Do we want to be going out into the desert at night, though?
Honestly, it is a...
Would you prefer to go during the day?
Which is better? Is the nighttime in the middle of that scary desert better than risking the birds in the daytime?
Mr. Liaison does mention that the temperature drops significantly at night. So you'll be spending less resources of water and food throughout the day or throughout the evening, and you'll be able to maintain a higher speed. You'll be able to, because overland travel is terrible no matter what game you're playing. I refuse to accept this. You'll make up twice the time at night. You may run into some nasty things at night, but you'll be able to retreat at twice the speed if necessary.
Okay, I will go with that then.
Okay. It takes about 4 hours, but the birds do stop circling, as well as the last remaining sounds of gunfire do stop as well. Nothing else seems to have worked its way down in the building, which you're lucky. You do seem to have found small supplies, paper clips, pairs of scissors, tape, paper, some nice things. There is also, it's not sturdy material, but you can pull some of the fabric off of the cubicle walls.
Well, if we're gonna be waiting, I decide to maybe explore the third floor.
The third floor?
Yeah.
Tip, no.
Why?
We wait here. We don't go back up the terrible stairs. We don't interact with these hellish elevators. You're going to... you almost died.
Mr. Liaison does agree with Chad here that maybe y'all should get when the getting's good, as soon as the getting is good.
We can make it if you're desperate for something to do, and perhaps this could go on your resume.
I can even help you out in writing that up as something to add to your resume.
You could do some office supply work, and we could make some clothes to help us not freeze to death in this journey out of office supplies.
Okay, I guess. I guess. I was just gonna check on the 4th floor and see if those fellas were doing okay.
They're not.
Oh, they're not. As someone in my line of work, I know a dead fellow when I see one, and unfortunately, there was not much we could do this far out from the city.
What is your line of work?
We'll call it a government contractor. I am often approached by people in positions of power to solve problems for them. It is a bit of freelance work, and sometimes I don't always get reached out, but
A fixer? Is that the...
No. A fixer is a very specific kind of person. I solve many a different problem, much like the one we're having now. Sometimes, if need be, I can remove certain obstacles, but I am here to solve a lot of different problems for a lot of different people.
I whispered to Chad, I think he's a murderer.
No. He's a fixer. They don't murder people. They make them go away.
I don't know the difference.
There is a legal one, but that is the only difference.
As you all gear up for the dash into the night, Tip, Mr. Liaison hands you it's a glass tube with 2 metal caps on the end, and it has this kind of vaporous blue substance that kind of looks like it's rolling back and forth inside. And it says, if you ever get on your last leg, you take this, my wizard friend, you take this, you crack it open, you take a big whiff and dig deep, and you cast whatever spell you need. One of two things is going to happen. You're either going to get exactly what you want, or it's going to be the last thing you ever do. Either way, you probably won't have to worry about it after that.
Mr. Liaison, can I ask for one more favor?
Absolutely.
Can you interview me?
Tell you what, when we get back to town, absolutely.
For a job?
Absolutely.
I start to cry some more. Chad, he's gonna interview me.
That reminds me, Tip. Your resume. We can put accountant on there.
I already have it on there.
Well, you can put accountant for a business on there because you account all of the money I've given you.
Okay. I'm gonna start to scroll it into the thing.
Dark meter continues for me.
I'm ready to go because I'm ready for my interview.
Alrighty. Let me do something very special here. So,
Yeah, you hear Tip going, "Hi, my name is Tip. Hi, my name is Tip. Hi, my name is Tip."
Ooh, it's that pre-interview anxiety that always gets me. All right, I'm gonna do something a little special here. So I have a mini game where I have a handful of D2s, and this is gonna track how far you get into the night before something terrible happens. So they are red and blue. For every red, that's going to advance you closer and closer. You need to get to 15. For every blue, you get nothing. But if at any time, if it ever all comes up blue, you're going to get accosted by some brigands in the night, we'll say. This would be one of those moments where I wish I had dice cam, but I don't.
If you
There we go.
if you support this channel and we raise enough money someday, we can get Jordan a dice cam.
Yup.
Or you can, donate it to us because we have like no followers.
This is also true. So, on that first step, you guys actually make it quite a bit away. You make it about 4 miles, and everything still seems good. You do see something in the distance kind of rocking about, but it seems far enough away that it doesn't want to bother you. Ooh, y'all make it another 5 miles. Nice and clean. Not a sound at all.
How many miles is it to the thing?
15.
Okay, 6 miles more to go.
Yup. We're using 1 dice per mile. Ooh, that's another 3 miles before you kind of see on the horizon another some kind of weird camp around those rock outcroppings where you fought that large creature in the sand. Someone that looks an awful lot like Mr. Liason, and possibly is Mr. Liason, mentions that it might be a good idea to simply go around.
I agree. We should listen to my future employer.
So. Brings us up to. So the town is now in sight. The big heavy walls and the big iron doors with the torches, as the night guard is actually in sight. You can see them as the wall doesn't actually go all the way around. It pretty much just protects from this side of the desert, as this area of the desert has been known to maintain brigands. But you kind of coast nice and quietly into the city as the doors open and Mr. Liason flashes his little symbol that he's been holding on to, and he guides you in. And he's like, we're gonna go right to the employer. We're just gonna wrap this up right now, and we're gonna get you folks paid, whatever you need. My employer likes to keep very, very odd hours throughout the night, so I have a good idea that he's probably awake at the moment.
And my interview, sir?
Bright and early, because you look exhausted, my friend, as am I.
Okay.
How about you, my friend, Mr. Arnoldson? You ready to have any request granted?
Sure.
Because, like I said, I work for a very well-off man.
I have a list of.
Brilliant. And he slowly guides you through the town. You guys get about 10 minutes into town, pass through a couple archways into a few different districts, and he meets up with another man dressed suspiciously like him, kind of shakes hands, and he joins you, and a third one, and then 2 fellows in uniforms of what looked to be a Sultan guard, this kind of flashily dressed, big sword, large kind of ridiculous headdress. It's all very gaudy from tip to toe. It's almost like a sequined ridiculous costume. And the knocks on the door of this kind of mini palace, this kind of quickly constructed, very ugly, kind of encroaches into other people's homes almost. Looks like it was built overnight for super cheap, but you enter inside and it is lavish from end to end. It's all velvet and beautiful, colored dancing lights, and everyone is gorgeous looking and well oiled, and looks like they hit the gym ridiculously and watch every calorie they eat, and it's just a giant party from through and through. And these people all are incredibly drunk, except for one fellow right in the middle, laughing the loudest, telling terrible stories. Mr. Liaison looks at you both and he says, "That is my employer, the Sultan Emir, Crusher of Serpents. And he wanted a rock omelet." All of this for a rock omelet. And you kind of feel this energy come over him of just like, I got paid to do that. I risked my life for a freaking egg.
And I look at him and
they do make good omelets.
I say, at least you have a job.
He looks at you and he goes, as long as the silver is silver. As long as the silver is silver.
As long as the work is honest. That's what matters.
I wouldn't go that far, Tip.
That's what matters.
And as you say honest, there's this, he just kind of gets this look on his face and he's just like, yep, honest. And the Sultan Emir kind of looks at you both and makes this big boisterous motion and goes, my beautiful boys, always hire outside help. Always hire outside help. That is what's the best thing to do. The best thing to do is always hire outside help. And as he like immediately tries to like encroach in your personal space and like touch your face and just he's like weaving in and out of the both of you. Like clearly this man has more money than sense.
I will grab some of my meat. Be like, my dear Sultan, with this rock omelet delicacy that I believe you want, it is customary in one of the farthest orbs to eat it with this meat.
A far off delicacy. Yes, I shall have it. I request it post haste. Yes, to the kitchen. You will guide them.
It's said that sometimes it doesn't agree with people, but only those that do not have a refined enough palate to enjoy it. So I'm sure you will be fine.
Oh, you flatter me. Of course my palate is refined enough. Look at me. I'm disgustingly wealthy. Of course I'm refined enough. Only people who are refined can be this wealthy. As like each of his fingers has like the ugliest ring you've ever seen. And he shoos you into the kitchen and you have 4 different goblins of all different shapes, sizes, and colors, all told to basically listen to you as they actually are really interested to listen to you about this, as this is a rock egg and this is something not every chef gets to work with. So go ahead and you're going to roll one last grilling check.
Grilling?
You're going to add 4 to whatever you roll because you've got 4 goblin helpers.
Subtract 4?
You're going to add 4. Oh, yeah, subtract 4.
Okay.
Subtract 4, whatever. And you're going to hold on to that number for me as we go to tip.
Am I going to get my interview now?
The Sultan looks at you dead in the eye and goes, magic is such a decadent thing, isn't it? Anything you want at your beck and call, and all it takes is just a little bit of effort. all of this because we got in the ground floor of selling magic items. It was wonderful. It was terrific. And he starts telling this long-winded story about how he tried really hard and did all this thing, and then Dad just bought it for him. You don't even really hear it because you just start hearing all of the... He just says, Dad bought it for me, and everything just phases out. It's like, oh, he's too rich to understand effort. As Mr. Liaison is also in the corner, just like hat off. He looks like he is taken off his jacket, revealing his nice white shirt that he has rolled the sleeves up. His tie is loosened just a little, and it's slumped over his arm as he's got a nice glass in his hand as he's just knocking back what is clearly an alcoholic beverage. And he kind of motions over to you, Tip.
I saunter over to him.
Well, my good friend Tip, this has been a hell of a ride, and where are you guys staying tonight?
Don't know, wherever Chad is.
I mean, honestly, this place is 50 million rooms. You'll probably be here in the morning just as much as me. You come find me in the morning, and we'll have a chat. I can probably put you in touch with any number of aristocrats that need a mage.
I'd like to work for you, Mr. Liaison.
I'm a kind of freelancer. I don't really have a staff, but I can write you one hell of a recommendation letter that'll get you a job without having to do an interview.
But I've been practicing. Could you just interview me for practice and tell me what you think? Just give me like 5 minutes, and then you tell me. Right. And then if you don't think I can do the interview, then I'll just go the way that you tell me to go and just take the letter of recommendation.
All right. He pulls out he drops his jacket onto the table, and he pulls out a small little leather-bound ledger, and with it a little, looks to be about the size of a golf pencil, and he opens it up, licks the pencil a little bit, and he gives you the worst question anyone in an interview will ever say. Tell me about a time you dealt with a customer that was upset.
I will roll my interview skill, which we discussed in this game.
Can you roll star? Can you roll your star 4. Skill?
Yeah, do you have star?
No, I have interview. We discussed this beforehand. It's a -4 interview skill. Let us see if I can get a two. All or nothing.
Oh, because we're rolling low, so yeah, you need to roll. If you roll 2 1s, that you nail this. You nail this one interview question.
Go for the critical success
tip.
I do
not.
Oh, you kind of.
Can you test luck?
You can test luck.
I test my luck.
Okay.
No, I do not test my luck at all.
You stumble and sputter over this question so hard. It's awful. It's ridiculous. There's like 3 other people that are in earshot, and they're just like,
Not realizing I'd done terribly, I look right at Mr. Liaison in the eyes and go, So am I ready for interviews with these Sultan people?
From the kitchen, you hear a heavy sigh.
2 of the goblins join in. looks at you, unbreaking eye contact, and just produces like a glass of scotch. You're not sure where this came from. No one has approached your personal bubble. Just a glass of scotch, and he just makes this face, and he's just, son, I'm gonna write you a hell of a letter, that's for sure.
Okay. Oh. I sit there thinking for a second. Did I do badly then?
Does not answer you as the music kicks up, and he just evaporates into the crowd. We find ourselves back in the kitchen. Chad, what is that number you have rolled?
I rolled a 7 out of 8, and then with my 4 goblin helpers, I got a 3 out of 8. So I have instructed them in making a hurricane omelet out of this rock egg.
Go ahead and describe us what a hurricane omelet is.
So it is a traditional omelet. You mix all of the milk and the egg and various vegetables into the batter. So some chives, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it like, you put it into what has got to be one of the largest pans the goblins have ever used, because it's a rock egg. Chad gets 2 gigantic poles and puts them into it and starts running around the edge of this omelet, so it creates a twisting motion as the egg cooks, and so it gets a nice swirled hurricane look as it creates these rippled rotational rings of cooked egg.
This nice,
so it's an open face omelet.
Yeah, this nice beautiful pattern. This nice beautiful pattern emerges as you swirl and run, and it just looks beautiful. And it would it would probably be capped off very nicely by a wonderful bouquet if it wasn't for this meat.
Oh, he has prepped that separately and has instructed the goblins that this meat, again, heavy quotation marks there, is to be served directly to the Sultan, and has been told that this is the pièce de résistance. You have to put a little bit of it on every bite you take to fully embrace.
Nice little
Yes.
kind of a caviar motion, which is they advise you to use the word decadent.
Okay, I will use the word decadent.
Yeah, they look at you with all the seriousness you've ever seen on a goblin, let alone another chef. Just be like, use the word decadent. He will eat anything if you say it's decadent.
And we have prepared the meat.
Yeah.
In the way that you would prepare a fermented meat. So I think a gefilte fish uses a fermentation process, it's the Swedish rotten shark preparation.
What is it? It's not Jarl. Jarl's not the word.
Yeah, he's done that with this meat very quickly.
All right.
Through some fancy
magic and machinery. Because we exist in Troika, where Dr. Seuss is about 2 phone calls away.
If not less.
If not less. So as the dish is brought out by the servants, the house carl for the Sultan has entered the chamber and is just kind of looking on, and the Sultan has now had everyone seated on a very low table, and everyone's on these kind of like harem cushions, just kind of waiting for to be walked through the dish. Now, would you like to do that, or would you like one of the goblins to do so?
I mean, I'll walk them through it, and I'll explain that we've added this exotic cheese, and that creates the hurricane pattern in the ridges of this thing, and the various vegetables that have been mixed into this, and how we prepare it. And I'll go through that, and then I'll point out the preparation of this meat and say, but this is only for the Sultan. This is the most decadent way to finish this. This is optional. The meat is rare. I've never seen it before. I've only heard tales of this in dreams from far off orbs.
As soon as you say the word far off orbs, the Sultan goes, oh, and everyone just kind of like trying to keep up, like we're waiting for his reaction. Go, oh, like everyone's like just kind of humoring him in this room. It's just every time you say like rare, exotic, far away,
decadence is being sprinkled like too much salt.
Yeah, anytime you make any sort of like mention or tip off that this might be overly like bougie, he just gets excited. So it begins,
and I will go further into this. I will continue with the description of this and explain that in these far off orbs dripping with decadence, this particular meat preparation is supposed to take it to the next level, and it is used as a way to determine who has excellent palates from those who do not. So we will only be serving it to the Sultan, since it would be a shame if someone here did not have a palate as good as his, but surely his is the best.
As he sprinkles some of the meat on and takes a big bite, you see him actively attempt to keep down this face. Exquisite through a kind of pained grimace. And he makes a motion that everyone should try some, so they could kind of come up to his level, to kind of, he makes some blowhardy comment about bringing up the level of those around him to that of a Sultan, so they can enjoy the world the way he sees it.
I will clap, and the goblins will bring out real meat that we have prepared on the side in the same fashion, so that everyone can participate.
As you clap, there's like a bit of like quiet, nice applause. as Mr. Liaison is just kind of looking on, and he kind of sneaks like an MRE like cracker chip out of his shirt pocket, and he goes, to kind of not have to eat this omelet.
The omelet is good.
The omelet is good. I'm sure the meat's fantastic, but he kind of got that sense that you were lying through your teeth through this whole thing, and he's been around this man long enough to guess his face, and he knows his employer, and he motions to his housecarl as he whispers something to him, and the housecarl kind of makes this face like it just smelled something died, and wanders over to you and motions to Mr. Liaison as you, and Mr. Liaison kind of picks you out of the crowd, Tip, as the three of you come over to this housecarl in this nice kind of waistcoat, pressed velvet purple shirt, hideous earrings that clearly they've been forced to wear, and these nice round spectacles that seem to be well taken care of, as it opens up a ledger, and they ask you outright, my employer has asked, what is your preferred form of payment?
Chad pulls out a list of whatever the equivalent of the Michelin star restaurants in the Sultanate are.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like reservations.
Reservations. Okay. Incredibly doable. Incredibly doable. I can have you there whenever you'd like. I'll get back to you in just a moment. My mage friend, what is it that you wish to have?
I hand over this bank information, and I say, this is where all of my student loans reside, so whatever you can take care of.
She looks at it and kind of goes, doable. Very doable. I mean, loan people are one thing, but I'm sure we can get that done. And she turns to Mr. Liaison, and Mr. Liaison goes, my normal fee will be fine. And kind of claps the book shut and goes, we've prepared a room for you. It's on the 3rd floor, east wing. You may rest, and we'll see what we can do about fulfilling your payment. Good night, gentlemen. Please enjoy the rest of the evening as wine, dancing, and drink resume as everyone enjoys this massive omelet. Throughout the night, you begin hearing about how another sultan has heard tell of Amir having access to a rock omelet and is now furious. Somehow, in this one party, Amir has become the talk of the town, and that has circulated the entire sultanate and come back. You have fulfilled the one thing no sultan has had so far, and that is a rock omelet.
As the party goes on, I will show them the traditional party the traditional party that the Fellow of the Sublime Society of Beefsteaks performs, which is wrestling right after the meal.
Ah, full stomach wrestling, just right off to it.
Yes, just go for it.
Some of the larger party guests try you, and go ahead and give me a wrestling check.
I did not do well. I got an 11 out of 8.
Ooh, no. One of them actually manages to get you with a crafty move by, as soon as you clasp arms, he kind of rotates you, and you kind of fall onto your side, and you. This is the best. It's as if you're at the grill house with the rest of the brothers of the fellows and the beefsteaks. Delightful.
Our pastime.
Simply delightful. There are many hobnobbers and hullabaloos as they cavort you, Tip. They simply wish to know everything about you. They ask you, where did you study? What kind of magic do you use? All sorts of things.
I'm treating it like an interview, and
You absolutely are supposed to treat this like an interview.
And I'm failing. And failing.
Mm-hmm.
And failing. And failing.
The wild thing about this, none of them notice. Not one of these people know how to talk to work folk.
And then
I
eventually will press my luck on one, and I succeed in pressing my luck.
that one person seems delighted and makes a comment about headhunting you from a mirror.
I don't know what to say at this stage. I'm just sort of shocked. Okay.
Again, the night swirls into this delight of food and drink and music as you find the night coming to a bit of a close. You are taken by one of the other house carls and are brought to your rooms as you lay to your evening's rest. And that
I before I close out, I stumble out of my room in the middle of the night and I knock on Chad's door.
I'll open the door. Yes, Tip.
I give Chad a hug.
Chad will just full on hug you back, like big bear wrestling bear hug.
I know that I haven't. I know you've been taking care of me, Bal, and now that I have a job, thank you for being my friend.
Tip, you will always have a job with me, even if you do not consider it a job.
And if you ever need me to stop the rain, Chad, you just call me. I don't care if I have a job. I'm gonna stop the rain on your meat. I promise, friend.
I appreciate it, Tip. Thank you. We should invest in an umbrella.
We should invest in tarps.
That brings our short, crazy, weird adventure to a close.
With that being said...
With that being said, ladies, gentlemen, please... ladies, gentlemen, and that good dog. Doug, go ahead and take a bow. Did you have fun?
Yes, thank you for running it. This has been excellent.
Wonderful.
Would you join us again in the future for a game?
Absolutely. Just give me a heads up, and I'm happy to join.
Absolutely. Gilbert, did you have fun?
I had the funnest time. Doug is an amazing partner to play with.
Doug was fantastic. Doug, you were absolutely brilliant. You were the wonderful straight man to Gilbert's ridiculous nonsense, and
I don't usually play the straight man when I play these games.
Which I think is very fun, and thank you for humoring my very straightforward, clearly a little bit of railroading NPC, Mr.
Oh, no worries. We needed something.
Yeah.
It's hard to run with just two people.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
With that being said, I have been Gilbert S with the Unnamed Game Co.
I have been Jordan T with ZoneFighter Games.
Check us out at all our wonderful links down below. Doug,
Gilbert.
Is there anywhere where you can try to find you?
You can try to find me, but I'm not many places. You can find me around the internet as Seb, TSEB, or Seb Magi.
Sweet.
Twitter is one of those places. Very few other places exist.
Sweet. We will, if you'd like to, we'll put your Twitter down below so people can follow you.
And with that, the table is always better with friends.
Bye, everybody.
See y'all next time.